Okay, we're live. Build AIOps with Eyer session number 4. So Marius, today we're going to switch a little bit from building automation to look at dashboards and how customers can use the Eyer APIs and the templates we ship as default to understand the performance of whatever data they're connecting to Eyer. But taking a little bit of a step back, if you don't mind, I'm just going to steal the screen if I'm able to.
I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm just going to move yours, so I have mine back here, and we're going to recap a little bit what we've done previously in the sessions. So this is the overview. So we've been looking at previously how you can connect Eyer with the APIs using n8n primarily, and also using 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 as a database to add context to the alerts. And we've been building out different kind of context to the alerts to build chatbots to tune in alerting for specific teams and interests. So we've been working a little bit on this scenario to the bottom right using OpenAI and chatbots. We're going to get back to this a little bit later, but now we're going to drill a little bit into the dashboards and how those work. And first of all, Marius, we're going to take a little bit of a look at the APIs, right? Or do you want to go in a different directions initially?
No, I'm just going to follow your lead, whatever you want.
Okay. So let's start a little bit with the APIs that we make available for customers to build dashboards.
Yeah, I think I need to share my screen differently then. Just a second. Let's try this one. I guess it's worth mentioning that the same APIs that you've been talking about when it comes to chatbots and everything, those are some of the same APIs that we're using for dashboards, for basically anything. Mm-hmm. So depending on what you want to show, what you want to process, if it's alerts, if it's live data, you pretty much mix the combo that you would like to use depending on what data you want to see. So it's not just one-on-one based on the scenario. It's always mixing. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to go through all the APIs. It's a lot, or it's not a lot, but I guess it will take some time to go through all of them. So just start with the basics. So on our support page, we have also listed all the APIs that you see on the screen here, with an explanation how to access them and what kind of information we can expect to get in return. So for this session, we're only going to use a single API, unless you want to focus on something else, to show how you access the data. And it's an API called the Nodes API. And by accessing this API, in response, you get all the components that you're monitoring currently in your Eyer environment. So you get, it could be, if you do Azure, you could get service buses and VMs and network components and databases and all that stuff, and also listing all the metrics. If you're doing a BIM instance, you get the atoms plus, depending on your setup, you might also get the processes returned back. So this is the API. Again, it's listed on the customer support site. And to access these APIs and use them, when you sign up to Eyer, you get a few different keys. One key for pushing data, one key for reading data, etc. So we're now going to use the read token, and you do basic authorization. So you just use authorization in the headers, paste your key in here, and you push send, and you get a response. this is also something that we use quite heavily when it comes to these dashboard templates in Grafana. So you can see here, this is a 𝗘𝗵𝗵 demo environment that we have. So you can see some of the components. You see the ID of the component. You see the name, what kind of type, what kind of system type, when this component was created in the backend of Eyer. And then you have the metrics. So you see restarting, you see the ID, you see what kind of aggregation we're using, etc., etc. And this is something that you can see for every component and metric that we're monitoring. And also worth mentioning, we come back to that, but for every single metric, you will see a field called learning status. And it's a representation on how well Eyer has learned each and every metric. So we use machine learning, depending on how much data we have available, the frequency of the metric, different considerations. This metric will shrink. It's starting on a 5. That's the kind of like worst status you can have. That means that it's not qualified for alerting yet. We start to see some data, but there's still some time to go. And then it will start shrinking. And usually we don't use any metric in the alerting that is not below number 2. So 2 or lower, 1 or lower, depending on how well you want the data learned. So we'll get a bit back to that. But as you can see here, you keep seeing the learning status. We can see if we have something with anything else than 5. I think we just connected this environment. So or we reconnected it. We don't have anything else here. 5, 5, 5, 5. No, there we have a 2. So this is actually quite well learned. And that's pretty much it for how you access the API. So all of these are the same. Obviously, we have more APIs. You can get all the correlations. You have something called dashboard generator. You can also do forecast on individual metrics. You can view the anomalies. But all of them are authorized and accessed in the same way. You simply use the authorization in the header, and off you go to get this data.
Yeah, and the authorization customers will get essentially from us, sign up on our website, and expect an email from the Eyer support team with the necessary authentication and credentials to tap into different APIs, right? Cool. So that's basically the APIs. The second item on the agenda is to touch briefly on the templates we have available default out of the gate.
Say again? The templates. I think I lost you, Eyer. Are you still with us? Okay, at least for me, it seems like Eyer is not here, so let's see if he gets back. In the meantime, so yeah, if we start on the support site again, so customer support Eyer.ai. First of all, where you can find the APIs, we have an API section. So if you go in here, you can find all the information about the different APIs, their functions, how to authorize what you're doing, an example of the response that you're getting back as well. So that's the APIs, and now moving into the Grafana dashboards.
Sorry, I'm back. I had his own back network issue here.
I just continued. I hope that you will get back into action. Yeah, so all the templates that we have available. So keep in mind, all of these templates are generic. That means that they're not adapted to one specific technology. So if you want to create more technology-specific dashboards, definitely you can do that. Either we can assist you or you can do it yourself if you know Grafana. There's a ton of forums out there that can assist you into getting some knowledge on Grafana. That's the cool thing. But yeah, all of these dashboards are generic. So you can pretty much, or most of these are generic, pardon me. We have a couple of these that are targeting a specific technology, but the one that we're going to look at today it's generic, meaning it can support any technology that you might choose to connect to Eyer. So what you typically do if you want to get started, and once again, just to go back to that, if you want to get started with Grafana, we have some startup information on the support site again, how to set up the different data sources to populate the dashboard data or the dashboard components that you're going to use, and then also an article on how to import your templates that we have available. So it's pretty easy, and we can go through that today. So yeah, I have already downloaded one of these templates that we have here. It's the node charting. So node charting dashboard. Yeah, let's get back to that. Let's start by importing it. So the cool thing about Grafana is that we can make these dashboards, then we can export them as a JSON template. So that's what you're seeing here. But to get these going into your Grafana instance, you need to swap out or replace some of the placeholders with your API keys. So it's a simple search replace. I downloaded this node charting here. And let's open it. And here we go. And according to this, oh, you don't see it because I'm just a second. I will share my whole screen. I think I'm popping back and forth between different applications. Just a second. Share screen and do entire screen, and there we go. Hopefully, there we go. So this is the JSON template, and if we look into the instructions, that was not, there we go. Replace API token read with your token from the email. Replace environment key with your environment ID from the email. Save the template, and we import it simply into Grafana. So let's get started. There we go. So I'm going to first of all, let me see here. There I have it. I'm just going to take my this one. This is the token that you get for accessing and reading the APIs. We're back to this one, and we do replace an API token read, and we do a replace. Replace all. I'm just going to stop sharing a bit because I need to find my environment key as well. There we go. Get back into sharing. There, and then we search for environment ID and replace that one, and then we hit save like this. Then we move into the Grafana instance and demo. So this is just the demo section in here. So usually, you go to the dashboard section and then you click new and import. Upload dashboard JSON file. Click on this one and demo, node charting. You get the name. You can change that one. Folder, it's up to you. In my case, I need to change the UID for the template because obviously I've been using this before. I'm just going to see if I can do something different. There we go. And then one thing that we haven't covered in this session is how to install and make available the different data sources. But we need two data sources. One of them is an HTTP-based one, which is accessing the HTTP APIs, which is this one. And then we store all the data in an influx database, which you get access to your data. You select that one, you click import, and we should be up and running. So again, this is a demo environment. Did you say something, Ivar?
No, I was just cheering from the sideline.
Yeah, sounds like you've been swapping the microphone again, but that's fine. So in this environment, we are monitoring a total of 30 components. Again, it's a 𝗵𝗵 environment, so that includes some atom sections like execution counts and OS information like CPU consumption, memory consumption, and stuff like that. And we also have process data. So each and every process in 𝗵𝗵 becomes a node with certain metrics attached to it. And then you can see the total number of metrics distributed across these 30 nodes, which is 153. And then you can select what kind of data you want to watch or show on your dashboard. So let's see here, 𝗵𝗵 process. We take one 𝗵𝗵 process, and then yeah, it's already populated. I only have one available here with this kind of type, node type. And then the metrics are auto-populated. And since it's Grafana, you can pick and choose and drill down into any slice and dice of the different metrics and resolutions that you have available. So easy peasy. And of course, this is just a template. Feel free to delete any components, shuffle it around, build a new dashboard based on it, add your custom stuff in there. This is just to get you started.
Cool.
That's pretty much it, I guess, for that part.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to take one step further and look at the alert investigation dashboard?
Yeah, we can do that. So again, this is a generic template. You can use it for any technology that is connected, and it focuses, as you were saying, on the alerts being generated by Eyer, the anomaly alerts. So this is another demo environment we have connected. Here we have connected not a big one, but medium-sized Azure environment. And in that Azure environment, we have a total of 195 nodes. And in an Azure setting, a node could be an event bus, a service bus, it could be a VM, SQL database. Yeah, pretty much any resource type that you have in Azure. And we have 3,032 metrics being monitored in this environment. What we're looking at here now in this dashboard is that currently for this Azure setup, we have 15 ongoing anomaly alerts, ongoing like live. So some situation is ongoing right now. And that impacts 24 nodes and 146 metrics. And then to get a bit more insight into the high level information, you can go one step further down. We have two different classifications of the ongoing alerts. Potentially emerging anomalies, which is something that might have been started just now. It's potentially a single metric deviation that hasn't been impacting anything else yet. So this is just for your notification that you perhaps worth, depending on the information on what's being affected, you should keep monitoring it. But as of now, there's no point in taking action. And then you have another section which is called Need Your Attention, and these are usually alerts where multiple metrics are affected and also multiple components that are correlated, meaning like they're interacting with each other, are affected. So you might have an application residing on a VM where you start to see some latency issues, which might be due to some access issues or performance issues on a SQL database or something that this application depends on. That would be correlated, and the initial deviation on the application could potentially later impact the SQL or vice versa, which is more likely. The SQL would impact the application performance. And you can hover any of these boxes. The size of the box says something about how many metrics that are affected. The color coding says something about the severity. The red means severe, orange means medium, and the green ones that you have here, those are low impact anomalies. And you can also see information about the components and metrics being affected when you hover these. So let's take this one, since it's a large one, or it's the biggest box. We see I see the alert ID. You might not see it, and I can't click it because it's moving when I try to move my pointer, but it's ending on 37CA. 37CA, and yeah, this is the alert ID on this box, so I'm just going to select this one. And then we get up the full alert history. You can see that this has been ongoing for quite some time, because currently we are charting back 2 days, and you can see it's been lasting for quite some time.
Oh, wow. So you have like 50 metrics involved?
Yeah, it looks kind of stable. So let's see what we can find out about this one. Not changing much, but it's still ongoing. You get a recap of what kind of components that are affected. Quite a lot of metrics in here. You see Microsoft Compute virtual machines, mostly virtual machines, and then yeah, it's virtual machines more or less. And yeah, we haven't covered this in this session, or we haven't covered anything about how Eyer is working. But yeah, we do have this correlation engine that picks up how different components are interacting, and this is shown here. So let's see, 𝗵𝗵 test environment. I think it was mentioned up here. 𝗵𝗵 test environment is one of the components being affected. We can see that is red. It's a virtual machine. And you can see the lines being drawn here between components. That means that they're correlated. Usually, one of the components is interacting with the other component and vice versa. So you can see how it how the whole ecosystem more or less is impacting each other based on some initial deviation. Yeah, we also see that it's impacting a website, another virtual machine, etc. down here. Not all of these components have the red status. We see also one here. It's a service bus, which is yellow. And then let's start picking up. Let's start looking at the metrics. So to do that, we pick one of these components. Let's do the 𝗵𝗵 test environment. Yeah, here we see we start to get some data. Let's see if we can find the. So this is still ongoing. So it doesn't need to be an anomalous state continuously, but since it's correlated with other components, it's enough that some of these components are shifting between an anomalous state. So if we pick up this one, you can see that you have this massive spike here, totally crossing the lines or the boundaries of the baselines here. And you see down here that it's continuing to go in and out of the normal behavior, so something is going on. And this is just one of the metrics. Of course, we could spend more time digging into some of the other metrics as well, but just picking up one of these, picking up another component. Now let me go back then to see what is affected then. So there is no data at all. Right, we start scrolling through all the components or metrics that can be connected to a virtual machine, and there's nothing. Let's try to go a bit further back in time to see if we can see something. I might be overloading the Grafana here. 7 days. Yeah, so this is a component that has typically, and now we're doing 7 days. So you see that it started to escalate even further here. So this is most likely, or it is a component that has lost data. It has been stopped or removed or something, because there's no data currently on that component. And that is also important to know, that our will alert you if we start losing data. We will also ship out an anomaly, because that's for sure an anomaly. You don't want to lose anything, or anything being stopped, or people removing some operational component. So for sure,
so theoretically, there could be an issue with, I don't know what this was, a VM or whatever. Let's say it was a VM.
Yeah.
Someone posted power for a specific VM. It triggers an anomaly, and maybe a bunch of other services won't work because it's relying on that VM to work. And it will trigger a lot of latency and issues. Right?
Exactly. Just trying to focus on this area here. It's 5 days ago. You see here, write operations per second are starting to grow here, crossing the baselines into the secondary baseline. So something starts happening here. So this is again for a different virtual machine. This is a 𝗏𝗏𝗿 that is being used. You can see it's going up gradually and crossing into the secondary baselines. So secondary baselines means that this is an observed behavior, but it's something that is not observed that frequently. We have seen it before, so it might be normal, but it also might be abnormal. It might be anomalous, but still we have a baseline to further classify it. It's not a proper full-blown anomaly, but you see it's starting to cross into the boundaries of the secondary baseline. We can try to pick up something again. Yeah, this is gone, so I guess it doesn't have any data here. Yeah, that is gone. So that, I guess, this was the initial trigger source. This is a cryptic one because it's not a name on it. Yeah, you see here. This is, here you go. The reason why everything started to escalate, really, you see things are spiking and then shutting down completely. We have lost data basically at 8 p.m. And you see that is what's happening here as well. We start to see some indication that something is going sideways from 6:45 to 7. And 7-ish something, it started to get really high, skyrocketing when it comes to number of metrics. So before that, it was down to 10, 11 metrics, and then something for sure happened, spiking that one. And here you see why one of the VMs completely lost all its data, meaning it shut down or was removed or something. Yeah,
interesting.
Good training exercise. So this is pretty much how you can use this dashboard to get insight into when things started, how it escalated. Looking at the data, you can see exactly what happened, what kind of data was escalating, how did it cross the boundaries of the different baselines, and how the different components are interacting.
Very cool. Anything else on your mind you want to cover today?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you, Marius. I think with that, we're going to conclude session number 4. We have some thoughts about our next session 5 to maybe go into more context again on using LLMs, and maybe even try to look at potential remediation solutions based on populating with additional knowledge. Essentially, it could be post-mortem analysis, remediation, documents, and so on. That's coming up probably next Tuesday. So that will be exciting.
And we can also, we're going to cover how to, so we've been doing a lot of LLMs and using external tools, we're always using external tools to visualize and process the alerts, but we now looked at Grafana. You can also use Grafana directly to host all the dashboards and live data and up-to-date information, but you can also do the alerting part in Grafana, and that's also something that we can come back to. It's a ton of different functions in there that you can tap into to set up your specific alerting, escalation procedures, different teams, different channels, all that stuff.
Cool stuff.
It is.
I think that's it. Yep. Thank you, guys.
See you.
See you.